Hey there. Good morning. Apologize for being late. Computer updates here this morning. Um, welcome to our Nothing Space webinar here today for January 1st. Happy New Year, everybody who lives on the Gregorian calendar. So thank you guys for those of you who are here live today. And we are going to go ahead and jump into some meditations, some stories about the nothing space. Hey, Renard, Happy New Year, man. Good to see you here today. So let's see. I'll go ahead. The coupon code for the nothing space is NTS12 for nothing space 12. So really quick, I'll run down the tools that we have in the nothing space, which is the water ring. So we have a 7.5-inch water ring in the nothing space. Makes a great halo for big heads, fit over the head for smaller heads. Hey, Christine, Happy New Year. Then we have the fidget generator, and the same in a pendant form. Now, the difference between the fidget generator and the pendant is hammered round to stay more flat like this, where the fidget generator, we actually make each of the rings more in a triangular shape to where this can be used as a fidget. Hey, Mitch, Happy New Year. So man, this thing's cold. It's been sitting in my car. It's only 17 degrees out here. Let's see. So we have those three tools plus the practitioner ring. That's a practitioner ring. I'm just gonna sit right here, and we're just gonna put ourselves in the nothing space. Okay, so sorry, I keep getting weird pop-ups on my computer after resetting here today. All right. Nothing space is all around us. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and give you guys a quick story on how the nothing space came to be. So it was probably 3 years ago, I believe, that I had a shoulder. My what was it? I think it was one of my shoulders was locking up. For 6 months, this thing was bugging me. Um, and it was such a thing that it was the first thing that came up that anytime we would try to fix or heal or do any kind of energy work whatsoever, it would make it worse. And so that was before really the understanding of allowing and surrender. Um, yeah, gosh, I might have been about I don't even know the time frame, 3 or 4 years ago. Um, but as that was coming in, apologies, I need to answer that. So the nothing space was something that as my sister and I, like even when she did work with it too, it would just make it worse. Nothing would help or take. And we were kind of at a loss with it. And so one day I was like, okay, gosh, we got to do something. I can't go on like this anymore. I can't sleep at night, anything with the shoulder. And so we just stopped and we wanted to look into it. So with with that, when we looked into it, it was really wild because there was when we sat that one day after 6 months and we just looked deep into the shoulder, it's like we saw a blank space. It just presented as black, just dark, nothing. You couldn't see anything in it. It was just a blank space. And it was pretty wild because every time Brenda and I, so then we saw this blank space and, it was kind of like a black box. And every time we would look into it and feel into it, our minds would go blank. And we're like, what the heck is going on here? And so after some time, that day as we sat and just felt into it, looked into it, that was when we discovered the nothing space. And that's basically what Brenda called it when we found it, was the no thing space, because there was no thing within this space, but yet we saw that it held all potentials that your light holds. So all potentials for all lifetimes, all choices. That is so much in your potentials that is in your light. So your light, your consciousness, your soul holds all the potentials for all of creation. Um, and it's like a 0 point space. It is a place that is all your energy unmanifest, all potentials. And so once we and totally the 0 point space of your reality. Um, so yeah, it was just everything yet nothing. And so that's when we first started to work with that nothing space. And it was just a matter of days that this big rectangular black box showed up. And it was that new chamber that we have. I'm reversed. The new chamber that we have sitting back here that you sit in, has the giant Taurus and the giant 44-inch rings on it. And you just sit in the center. And that, it again, energetically, that chamber before we built it in the physical was just a big rectangular box of that nothing space. And then we built the chamber, and that is what the physical chamber now carries. And so with this chamber, pretty potent, because when you sit in there, and it's a strong field, because it has 6 of the large rings, it has 2 of the giant Tauruses, um, and when you sit in there and you just go soft in the heart, it's like the mind just totally steps aside. You just go blank. And the more that you can just really stay in that space, um, and bring in your light. So that's what the nothing space is all of the potentials. And then we started working with what we call the higher potentials, the highest potentials. And that is basically, if you have a whole pool of your energy, your potentials, you can think of it maybe even on a scale that the denser consciousness, the lower light, will provide these potentials. This is the world you walk in right here. And as you allow in more light, as the earth supports, as this realm supports us to have more light, holy crap, the openings that have occurred in the past 4 years, 5 years, holy shift. Um, so these, as you allow in more of your light, as you open up to more of your light, that brings more of the higher potentials. And so the nothing space, for how we've always seen it, is that it is so phenomenal because, again, if you just bring in your light and sit with your light, the more light that you hold, and of course, doing the wisdom work, anytime that we take an experience and we allow that to go back to soul, then it becomes more wisdom, light, consciousness. So, I've said it before, the deeper, darker dive that you take in a lifetime, the more light and wisdom your soul elicits from that experience. So, as we do the work, as we allow the work, we become more conscious, more light. And the more consciousness and light that we can allow ourselves to hold, the higher potentials come in that. And you've all heard the story of Brenda crushing her finger in a sliding steel chute with cows. and how that bone was demolished. And the very next day, there's not a single fracture in the bone in it. She didn't heal it. She allowed in that higher potential. And so that's, yeah, it's amazing. It is flipping amazing. Um, from and then here's in just reading some comments here. Thoughts from 0 point moving to all potentials could be fundamentally based on the elements, therefore elemental consciousness. No, this is sovereign. So this is totally it. The consciousness is all you. It is all your energy and all your consciousness. So there's no there's nothing outside of that is in your reality. Um and in support. So yes, all that is it is the all that I am. I am all that I am. All that you are is your big, beautiful, bright box of light, of potentials, of all your lifetimes, of your wisdom, of the master you, of the new light bodies, of the soul. It is all. Phew. Yeah, so that is all what is held within the potentials. It is only your energy as a sovereign soul being. Um, no other influence unless you invite it, you choose it. But really, it's still your energy. Um, but yeah, that's because that's really where we're going. The oneness that we talk about. It's not a kumbaya. I'm one with me, and I'm one with you, and the plant, and the dog, and every soul being. We're all one. No, we're not going backwards. We came from source, the I am, which is nothing but consciousness. And then there's soul. And with soul is all the potentials that you would ever experience in all of your lifetimes. And we won't get into it, but we are creating new potentials now. We have stepped beyond the boundaries, but we won't go into that yet. Um, we will in 25, though, for sure. Stepping beyond those boundaries of what our soul holds, our light holds as potentials. We are moving beyond those. And that is where it comes in as conscious creation. Your consciousness, your energy, everything in that nothing space, all potentials. So as we truly step into creatorship, where our consciousness and our energy become one, we are then going to be operating outside of the nothing space. We're going to be stepping beyond the potentials that were there for us. So it's really a grand time in creation, because we truly are going to be stepping into things that were not even dreamed. And this is part of what the nothing space is going to be about. It is the launching pad for this new dreaming, um, of basically bringing the higher potentials of your light, unlimited, taking it out of the box, allowing your light to come in, um, without the limitations. And yeah, thanks, Renard. I'm having a hard time articulating this too. But yes, it does need to be heartfelt. And that is the truth. Because this whole thing in the nothing space, when you step in there, you go beyond the mind. And so what I'm really blown away by is, and I've talked about it here recently, is the Crimson Circle with Adamus Saint Germain. And this last month, they have a free monthly shout. In the December free monthly shout on YouTube under the Crimson Circle, Um, you know, he mentions this whole concept of nothing space. And I never heard him say it before. He said he's talked about it for years. Pardon me. But yeah, this nothing space is what he talks about in this last December shout, and how that is truly our launching pad as we step into conscious creation. That, and he describes the nothing space as um, when you're in that field, that it is so far beyond the human mind's comprehension of all the potentials, that it it just kind of, it goes blank. It just shuts down because it's not able to perceive all of this from the mind. And so, yes, totally, Renard, you are correct. We do have to feel into these fields. And so definitely we'll jump into a meditation here. Um, um, really love the support here, you guys, for sure. Um, so that nothing space, and again, all your energy. And so the more, again, when we step into this nothing space, which we're going to do here in just a moment, is that when we step into the nothing space, we're going to be there, and you just let the mind go blank. We did a little bit of this yesterday, in a meditation here online, and some people were mentioning, the talk would come up, the mind would start to chatter as they were in that nothing space. And basically, when you're in that nothing space and your mind does start to talk anytime anymore that you are aware of your mind, tell it to shut up. I don't ever use the word shut up to anybody or anything because I feel it's highly disrespectful and terrible. But the mind, shut up, man. You can really put your foot down with this thing. Um, you can still love it. It is still served a purpose. But right now, it is inhibiting us from really truly stepping in as conscious creators, because the brain mind creates doubt. It is a checker. It is always ensuring that every decision, everything we're doing is right. It keeps us safe and alive, and from doing anything really super crazy. It is a limiter for us. you know, Bumpers in a bowling alley, whatever. So that doubt, the brain mind, really can limit the creation that comes through this nothing space. So the doubt in the mind are something that you really have to just say no. Hey, no, no more. We're not playing this game. You have to learn to trust the master, your light, me as the human. And that's really, as we're bringing in our light bodies, that is superseding. It's going to be working with and superseding and, harmonizing with this whole outdated system. And, as it does, for many years, Brenda has been working at bringing in different light bodies. And, we had the talk yesterday. As you bring in some of these things, there's a period usually of adjustment that occurs. And, a lot of times that adjustment can be, kind of hardcore. But, for me, geez, most of December, I was kind of down. I was knocked out for most of December because of that pure light of you that was coming through. And that in itself had dislodged so much stuff in my being. And in it just, you have to recalibrate sometimes, and sometimes it's a being physically sick. But as we talked about yesterday too, that does not have to be the way that it is. The truly, the more that you can surrender to what is occurring in these transformations, the easier it is. And I can say this from experience because I fought hard through almost every one of the transformations I've gone through. And it'll just, for me, it beats me until I surrender. And then when I surrender, everything begins to shift. And so truly, if you, as you go through these things and you come into any kind of, difficulties that you can't, and there are things that you can't explain, but difficulties, you know, issues as you're going through this, it's truly is just breathing, surrendering, softening, and allowing. Um, it's kind of like getting into a car accident or something. You tense up and you tighten up and you constrict your energy. You constrict your light when you tense up and you're fighting it too. So the more that you can just, go limp, allow, be soft, the easier it is through those times. So anyway, I just want to share that advice. I'm sure many of you know that, but many of you that have been going through it, this might be some sound advice too. um, let's see. Happy New Year, you guys. And thank you for being here. And thank you guys for being on this path. It's the journey. And okay, so the nothing space. Here we go. Let's jump into the nothing space. So we'll go into the heart space and we're just going to hold this space of the nothing space. Now, a lot of you know this nothing space already. Some of you might have the tools. So if you have any of the nothing space tools, great opportunity to hold them, sit with them. If you don't have any of the nothing space tools, that is perfectly okay, because we are going to all hold that field together. So that's why I was asking any of you that have the tools or that know the nothing space. As we all come together here, you'll be able to more easily access that nothing space because we're going to be all going there. And so as we access this, I'll just I'll chatter here and there as we go and just see where we go and what happens. All right. Here we go. So taking that deep breath into the heart, fully connecting and grounding yourself with the heart of the earth, allowing that supportive energy, that beautiful light of earth to just mix with you. Every cell of your body, all the electromagnetic fields of your physical, all just deeply connecting with the earth. Next, inviting in all that you are, your light, inviting in the master you, made up of the wisdom of lifetimes, inviting in your soul, inviting in all of your facets, all of those parts of you that have came to wisdom, the lifetimes, the experiences. Those are the facets of your soul light, shining with their wisdom and their support. Beautiful. So, as you're in that heart space, please do follow along with us. We're going to step into that nothing space. So just being soft in the heart, Just you're inviting in your light, and you're inviting in this no-thing space, the space of everything yet nothing. And if your mind wanders, just come back to the heart. You might feel pressure on the head. Whatever it is you feel, just be aware, softly aware, not trying to qualify anything. So as you are in this nothing space, it is the perfect time to connect with that master you, that golden light being that is you, that is made up of the wisdom of lifetimes, all of the experiences that you've brought to wisdom. And just inviting this golden light body, the master you, inviting it into your body, into your physical, into your energetic, into your emotions, and into the mind. And if you need to, if you feel any anxiety that comes up, talk to your body, talk to your mind. Just tell yourself it is okay that this master you, that this light is not coming in to take over or to replace or to fix or to heal. This master you is coming in to support, to help, to bolster, to help reconfigure. Okay, right now is where we are just allowing in our light, the master you with its golden light body, your soul, the wisdom of lifetimes. Beautiful. And again, allow that light to just come to the mind, to come to that physical brain. And it's like it brings like an ease, a lubrication energetically to all those synapses in the brain. As it is just smoothing out all of that electrical. Harmonizing that electromagnetic field that is within the skull and that extends outside of it. Beautiful. I see some of you are talking with the Master You, and please do communicate with the Master You. Because the Master You, that golden light body, knows what it is like to be human versus the soul. The soul is not so empathetic. It does. Until you have brought your lifetimes to wisdom, the soul truly does not understand what it is to be human. Though the Master You is totally empathetic with the human because it has the wisdom of lifetimes. So this golden light body, the Master You, is going to be integrating within you, within each and every one of us. And it's a process, but just becoming more familiar with that energy of you, of the Master You, of the golden light body. So traditionally, this is what we've used the nothing space for, is to really connect with that Master You. And then as we bring in all of our light, whether it's from the Master You, the lifetimes, the wisdom, all of your light, then as you carry more light, then that patterns your creation space, your energy, your potentials. It patterns your potentials in a different way because you have more light. You have access to higher potentials. And so the more that you just set in this space and just be, it's like an exercise and it creates those pathways easier. And so truly just more is you just sitting in that space, because being present in that space, it is repatterning your reality. It shifts. Reality can shift in an instant. And when we do this work from the nothing space, so many times, and this is our experience too, that you do the work, you do the release, you do something, and you forget what you did. It is gone out of creation. And so, yeah, it is beautiful that you don't remember, and that you don't remember a lot of things, because again, it to me, it taints the field. It's so it is good that if you are losing memory and loss of words sometimes, it is a beautiful thing because you are going through the process. One of the hugest things that's going to occur here for the human is this going beyond the mind. And so the nothing space is going to be very instrumental in the new way of creation, because it is within that nothing space that we begin to bring our consciousness in a way that patterns these higher potentials. So we have not really gotten to how to. So like Brenda, whenever she does work anymore, all she does is hold that field of highest potentials for a person. And she does that very well. She can hold that field of highest potentials. And so I've talked a lot about when she stands there, she embodies her light. And the more that she embodies her light, the more light that she holds in that moment, the more potentials, right? So when she embodies her light and her client stands there, and the client automatically begins to embody their light, and they bring in those higher potentials. And then there's those higher potentials that then manifest that pattern into their reality, AKA healing, clearing, release, rebalance, all of it. So the higher potentials is not anything that you need to go through a process of healing from get to here to here. If you can allow it, if your beliefs your perspective, your mindset, all of that, if that can allow it, yes, you can instantly go from here to here in that healing shift. You truly, truly can. Um, all right. Um, so yeah, that's so the new part of stepping into conscious creation, which that's some of the things that we're going to be doing this year, is working on this and discovering and learning and sharing and holding the field for others, because the conscious creation that we're stepping into, and I talked a little bit about it yesterday in our webinar, but basically it's the whole concept that as you step into this nothing space field and you're bringing your light, you don't want to bring your issues into this field. And what I mean by that is, oh, I need to fix or clear or heal, so I'm going to bring that to this nothing space. No, no, you can't do that, because you're patterning those limitations. That's what you're doing. You're bringing your issues, your shit into the field, and it's going to replicate more shit. So that's truly where this field of higher potentials, we're not trying to change and fix lower potentials. We're trying to step beyond this. We're not trying to rearrange it and repattern it. We're trying to go beyond. That's the whole thing, is going beyond. Um, so that's another one of the beautiful things about the nothing space, is that if you can get in there and you can just feel into that, just that quiet space and inviting in your light, that is what is doing some of that repatterning of your reality. Um, okay, I'm going to go over here and check in. In the end, what matters? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Did you live your life in joy, or did you take the hard route? I think that's what matters. Maybe not. Um, is everything or nothing the Akash or ether? So the Akashic records. So the Akashic records. I always thought the Akash and everything was set in stone, and this is a record, and everything is linear, and past lives build upon the other. No, it truly is that everything happens out of a no time space. Everything is happening at once. So there really is no past, present, future. That it is all right now. Um, Crazy concept, and it's a tough one to really get the head around. But then at some point, you're just like, oh, well, yeah, no, time's not real at all. Um, so the Akash, what we are doing, you guys, is we are releasing, we are clearing our Akash. So when you have that experience, that trauma, and you allow that trauma or that entire lifetime to come to wisdom, that is changing that lifetime. So the difference between, like, an ascended master who left all of its lifetimes still here, their lifetimes didn't come into completion and ascension, just the one lifetime. What we are doing, which has never been done before, and what we are doing right now, is we are stepping into embodied mastery. That we're not ascended masters, we are going to be embodied masters. And there's a lot of them on the planet right now. A lot of embodied masters. And a whole hell of a lot more ascended masters than there was just months ago and years ago. But this embodied mastery is that we're going to step into our realizing consciousness and energy, and how consciousness and energy come together and step into creation. And then we're just going to be stepping into creation beyond the potentials that we had. So that is when we step into conscious creation. That is the ascension, the realization. And the reason I'm bringing this, the Akashic records. So as you, as this human right here and now, are like the designated ascendee for all of your lifetimes. So as you begin to embody your light and you're doing the work, and you are doing this for all of your lifetimes. And as all of your lifetimes come into their embodiment, that changes the Akashic records. And then we're going to go a step farther. It's happening already to some. Is that then this lifetime truly comes to wisdom. And that's what I was talking about earlier, is that the multifaceted gem of the soul. So right now we have aspects, a soul aspects. It is it's like a ray of light that is a lifetime or an experience or a potential. And these aspects that we work with, the ego is an aspect, the mind is an aspect, that wounded inner child is an aspect, that alcoholic that makes you drink, that's an aspect, those other lifetimes are aspects. um the being who automatically takes a shower or drives is an aspect. I mean, we create aspects all the time. So aspects are nothing more than another facet of your light. But when we do the work with the wisdom, we bring an aspect to soul. Then that aspect, then you become a facet of your soul. So truly, how we see the soul is it is this multifaceted gem that is in completeness. Every one of the facets is that lifetime or experience that has came to wisdom. Before that, they are aspects, and there is no wisdom in that. And so as those aspects, those experiences come to wisdom, then that becomes a facet of your soul's light. Um, so Akashic records, they're not what we always thought they are, and they are changing and they are clearing. Every time that you take a breath and you release, you are changing your Akashic record, because so many times that trauma or experience that affects us here and now, that we release, that then is healed, it does it for all of the lifetimes that it affected. Um, so let's see. I had a Kundalini experience where I saw the same thing when my eyes were closed or open, and the things I saw were not in the room. Is this the nothing space? Um, no, because the nothing space, again, the human mind can't perceive within there. It just goes blank. The mind cannot perceive the potentials. And so the nothing space doesn't show us anything. Um, and even when we step into radical imagination from the nothing space, which is what 2025 is going to be about, is working with that radical imagination, which is it's our consciousness and our higher potentials actually coming together and creating. And that's what we're going to be doing in 2025, for sure. Do you have a device to clear the mind from seals or imprints? Yes, that device is you making a clear, conscious choice. So, seals, imprints, black magic, curses, whatever it is, there is a part of you that made the choice to carry that. A curse does not work, or black magic, or nothing works unless you, on some level, choose to receive it. And you can choose to give it to wisdom. So, the most powerful tool is your consciousness, your light. That is the most powerful tool. And the tools that we make anymore are simply helping to hold that space. Because anymore the new tools have no agendas in them for clearing, healing, anything, because there is really nothing. I'll say all those concepts, but basically to clear any of those things like the seals, the imprints, or beliefs, or old patterns, any of that stuff, it is just, yesterday we did a really good class too, and it's on YouTube, but it's just going in the heart space and bringing that up, that that imprint or that seal or whatever it is that is affecting you. And you just put your foot down and say, no, you know what? This is not mine to carry. Yesterday in class, we talked about what is yours to carry. It is what you choose. Even if it's yours, you can set it down. Your past life stuff, that's not yours to carry either. That's like your soul cousins. No, you don't need to carry anything except for what you choose. And that is the true mastery. And that's where we truly start to step into our mastery is we first make clear conscious choices on what it is that does not bring us joy or no longer serves us. And so that is your superpower as creator right here and now, is to make the clear conscious choices of what no longer brings you joy or what does not serve you. And then after we filter and throw all that shit overboard, then we can start to step in as conscious creators, because then we're not bringing all that shit into the field. All those issues that I got to heal, got to fix, got to clear. So to fix, clear, heal, again, all it truly is you making a clear conscious choice with the soul, with the universe, with your energy, putting your foot down, saying no more. And biofeedback devices. Yeah, actually we've the biofeedback devices, I do have, gosh, what is that? The BioWell. And it was too much for me to work with. I sent it off. One of our friends down in Arizona has that BioWell right now and is playing around with it. I really do like the GDV photo imaging, gaseous discharge visualization. The photo imaging is a great one. And yeah, totally, biofeedback devices are grand. Because they'll certainly tell you a lot about the body, but and it can tell you a lot about it, but it is perfectly fine to play in that realm. But you truly can. We're coming to a point where we just step beyond it, where we don't have to actually qualify and quantify an issue anymore. That we just simply, because the drama's in the details, and so we stay out of the details, stay out of the drama, and we just see it as energy. Okay, there's this thing, and man, nod. I don't want that. I don't want to experience that or carry that anymore. So I'm just going to take it. I'm going to take that and sit it down. We do a soul altar exercise. There's a lot of different ways, but just the simplicity is just being in the heart space, and you just saying, no more. And you just set it down, step away, saying, no, I give it to soul. I'm going to let this be transformed into wisdom, and then I can do something different. And totally, it's the time, you guys. Today is the great day to just be done with your shit. And that was really what I wanted to bring yesterday to this whole December 31st thing, was just drop your shit and let's just be done and let's just move on. And then I got stuck with 3 days of hardcore releasing, and I thought I had released, and oh God, yeah, it just showed me that that we just have to be aware and use our breath and our choice and keep releasing. I use my heart to rule my mind, but you have to be careful because it can create apathy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely when you're in the heart space, your perception changes. And I guess you could call some of that apathy, but it's kind of like it helps you determine what is truly real and serving you, and where you want to put your creation force at, your light, your awareness. So yeah, you definitely do get more. There's a lot of words to describe it. I'm not even going to go into the heart space because it's a tough one to describe on the spot. But yeah, and truly the heart space, and the more that you can step out of the mind, that is really where all of that's the beyond. That's the beyond potentials. If we're going to stay in our mind, we're going to stay in our limitations, truly. And so we do have to step beyond the mind to step into these higher creation fields. I mean, we can stay here and we can rearrange things in our box and make things look a little bit better and a little bit more pleasant. But why? I mean, there's so much more. There's so much more. And I know that everybody knows that at their core, that there's so much more. And it is easy to get stuck in a distraction. So easy to get just stuck in distractions. Um, does the 3 1/4 inch water ring have the nothing space? Um, yes, you can find the nothing space in that 3 1/4 inch water ring. Um, but there's everything else in it too. So it's almost just as easy to just pull the nothing space out of the air than it would be out of the 3 1/4 inch water ring. To me, it would probably be easier just to connect into it here through the meditation without having the physical tool holding it. Um, what about the hacking of our biofields? Do you believe we need auric protection? Yes, the only protection that you truly need is to make the clear conscious choice that you live in a safe universe and that there is no outside energies that are here to affect you, and that the only energies that appear to be outside are your energies that you co create, and that it is all truly your energy. And so, if there is, again, anything that is outside of you, it's truly not. It is truly your consciousness, your light patterning, your energy to bring this into your creation. And so, if there's something in your creation, that is where we step in as clear conscious choice creator and say, no, no more. Because everything else, yeah, it is, a lot of distractions. Um, hmm, let's see. And apologize, I'm just writing over here. Um, what about, let's see. Okay. Sorry. I was trying to understand a question there because, as far as, and this is the biofield, and I don't know enough about any of these biofield ones, but whether it neutralizes active frequencies. Again, yeah, it's just really, making that clear conscious choice on anything and everything, because truly our light, again, and we talked about this yesterday too, is that our light works outside of the limits of physics, completely outside of the limitation, the little box of physics that we see consciousness change physical reality on a daily basis. And you can even, you can even see that in like the Dr. Emoto's rice tests, where they put rice in 2 jars and they put hate into one and love into the other, and they project that into them, and then the hate becomes all, discombobulated, all moldy and everything. And the same with water and how the water crystals freeze. And that, to me, that was the first thing that really made me go like, wow, you know, subtle energies can affect physical reality. And yeah, holy camoles, your light can affect physical reality if you allow it to, if it is within your mindset, your consciousness, your perspective, your desires, and your belief. So that's, Clearing limiting beliefs is such a huge thing because that is what keeps us in the box, are those beliefs. And, the human is such a funny critter. It's this gray matter that makes up things and believes them to be true and real based on a perception of an experience it had. And so much of what we believe is nothing more than a box. So beliefs are really a great one. And that's when we did that yesterday too. Man, you guys should just totally go back and watch yesterday because that was one of the things we talked about in releasing beliefs too, because they can be those limiters. What's the difference between the tensor field generator fidget and the prototype generator fidget generator? Oh, nothing. So we have, I think this generator might be on 2 pages, the tensor field generator page and the prototype generator page. And we need to just consolidate those pages. I need to do a lot of work to the website here because we have so many products that are not, the descriptions are no longer valid on some of these. But so it is the same generator, the fidget generator. Besides meditation, are there other ways to use the nothing space tools? That's really a good question. So to me, I feel that nothing space is a great thing to use with when you are like working with crystals to program them, when you are programming water, or when you are actually, when you're doing like almost any kind of energy work. So like, let's say, take for instance with the water, where we have the water rings. And I, I think about this all the time. I think it's just so phenomenal, this trio. And we're working at trying to make this trio in a smaller set. But with the trio, you have the nothing space, then you have a grounding ring, and you have the highest potentials. And that creation field trio, to me, works together so well because it is working with the physical component of like the water or whatever. And then there's the nothing space, which is holding all potentials. And then there's that highest potentials ring, which is just basically working with your consciousness and light and the consciousness and light of what you are working with within the ring. And it is bringing them both together. And it is, so this nothing space to me is really a beneficial one when you're working with anything that you want to change or imprint or create, because this is like, all of the paints in your canvas, and your canvas. So that the nothing space tools, I think kind of, in experimental, to me, they are like a space holder that basically I guess I've said it all. And then even like the practitioner rings, to me, this practitioner ring is a great one too, because it's helping you sit in that field of potentials. And again, the nothing space, and either you bringing in your light or using the higher potentials ring, to me, that's, the nothing space still needs the input of your light, whether you're just doing it through you or using a tool. Let's see. Do we use astrology? No. Again, stepping beyond. I totally followed astrology for the longest time too. Like David Palmer, the Leo King, when he first started out. I was first starting out, and my girlfriend at the time loved Leo King, and so I just followed him for years. But and what I've come into realization over the years is that I'm not going to allow astrology to dictate my reality. And I know for a little while I was really fighting it. I was like, nah, screw you, astrology. And, it would come back sometimes. and show me, no, you know what, you're under my influence. But anymore, I'm just like, whatever, because it is limited to this realm. And so that's it, is that anything that you find within this realm, to me is still a distraction, um, because this realm is nothing more than the playground, the sandbox, the canvas. And so, I don't want to play in creation that's already there. I mean, you can, that's the experience. That's the grand human experience, playing in creation. But, you know, I want to be creator and experiencer at the same time. Because truly the human is the experiential part of the soul. But, I want to step it up because I know that we can, and I know that we're going to. Um, so, um, Sandbox crypto scan. Oh, I mean a sandbox as in a place where you go to create, where you're not affecting the world, like the mirror dimension and in Doctor Strange, whatever. That's kind of what, like, the sandbox. Um yeah, stage, totally. So anyway, so I guess that is it. We'll see what comes here in the new year. But yeah, like I say, I want to work with, we want to make a smaller one of these. And we are going to bring back, oh shoot, I don't have it on. We're bringing back really soon the Alchemist pendants, the small trio. And currently we're out of all of those because we are currently restocking and stocking up, because that little small trio is going to be put in that creation field. So soon we'll be able to have the nothing space in that pocket size piece too, which is approximately the same diameter as the fidget generators. So anywho, we will have some new tools coming up, some new things in the nothing space. Awesome. Hey, thank you guys for all being here today, and happy new year again. And yeah, happy new year. Still the time to drop the shit, to get out of the rabbit holes, to open up. Yay. Oh God, I love it when I feel you guys open up. It makes my wings flutter, and it makes me open up too. Yeah, let's just all take a few deep breaths here together while we're in this space, so that we can carry this, so you can carry more of you into this new year. All right, some deep breaths, you guys, and fighting in all of your light. And knowing that your light carries the highest potentials. And if there's something in your world that is not to your liking, be in this space right now and smile your divine awareness onto it, knowing that you are creator and that it is your creation. Sometimes our creation is truly here for us to experience, no matter how shitty it is. So open up. If you can't change something in the very moment, you can change it by allowing it. Okay, so if you're going in your moment, something sucks, and you get in, you might be trying to fight it if you're getting in and trying to fix it. So that's the whole conundrum too. So again, just a last minute thing. If you can't change it, you're in the experience. Soften up and be in the experience. It makes it less painful, and that is what changes it, is when you come in with your jolly light and you're like, hey, I expect and I know you to change, and this is part of your beliefs, your perspective of life, your reality, is that you step in and you're like, nope, you're my energy, and you are going to serve me in a new way. And it may be a bumpy ride for a second, but I'm going to ride it out. And I know that we are shifting it as we're riding it out. I tell you what, these mindsets, the perceptions, and your light, holy shift, you guys. You can truly step in as conscious creator. So, all right. Much love, you guys. We will see you Friday.